So, Sri Shankaracharya's Tattva Bodha. We have been studying this for the last few weeks. We have completed up to the second chapter. Today, we should begin chapter number 3. First, let us start with the Mangalacharan, the Dhyanam, Sloka, and continue with that. Just cross-check the presentation. Please start. So this is the Mangalacharan Sloka. Om Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnanapradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitarthaya Tattvabodha Abhidhiyate. Having saluted Sri Vasudeva, the king of yogis, Paramatman, who is a guru, who is the bestower of jnana, who gives the knowledge of truth, this Tattva Bodha, which means the knowledge of truth, is expounded for the benefit of the seekers of liberation. So today we'll begin chapter number 3. We have studied the Adhikari of the Sadhana Chatushtaya in the chapter 1. Then we have studied about Atma Tattva Viveka, Atma and Anatma, in the chapter number 2. Now today we'll begin chapter number 3, which is Jagat Utpatti, the creation, will be dealt in this third chapter. Let us begin directly to the chapter 3. So here the chapter number 3. This will start today. Jagat ki Utpatti. This chapter will begin. So about the creation, Sri Shankaracharya will deal upon. It begins with number 17 here. Atha Chaturvinshati Tattva उत्पत्ति प्रकार वक्ष्यामः. अब 24 तत्व की उत्पत्ति की का तरीका बताते हैं. Now we shall explain the evolution of the 24 tattvas. Atha, now Chaturvinshati, Vinshati 20, Chaturvinshati 24 tattva. The tattvas elements, utpatti, how they are created, how the evolution happens, the prakara, the details of that, vakshama. Now we shall speak of that. So the 24 tattvas will come in details one after another. It begins in the creation, Jagat Utpatti, this prakaran. Number 18 he says here, Brahmasraya Sattva Rajas Tamagunatmika Maya Asti. Means Brahma Asraya Sattva Rajah Tama Gunatmika Maya Asti. He says ब्रह्म के आश्रित सत्वगुण, रजगुण और तमोगुण रूप माया है. He says that depending on Brahman for its existence is Maya, which is of the nature of three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Brahmasraya, it is Brahma ki ashrit. Brahma ashrit is depending on Brahman. He is defining Maya here. He says that Brahma is the main source, from it depends. The Brahmarup Adha, the Maya is Asrita on the Brahman. And what is the characteristics of Maya? He says Sattva, Raja, Tama Gunatmika Maya Asti. He says Maya is of the nature of three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. These are the three constituents of Maya. These are not its qualities, it's the main constituents of Maya. It's the very nature of Maya. Of Maya is of this three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. We'll come in details about that. First he says, in these 24 tattvas, 24 principles, he begins with the Akasha. Then number 19. He says, Tataha Akasham Sambhutah Akashat Vayuhu Vayuh Tejah Tejasa Apah Adbhya Prithivi. Here it is now enumerating the one by one. Slowly the 24 tattvas will come. First he is saying about the Panchabhuta. He says that Tataha, from that, उसमें से अर्थात from this Maya, when that Maya which is in Asrita and Brahman, from that Maya, or which is another name is Prakriti, from there, Tataha Akasha Sambhuta, from there the Akash Utpanna Hua. From this Maya, this Akasha is born. This Panchabhuta is called Akasha, Vayu, Teja, Apa, Prithvi. And very beginning he says of the Akasha. These are the, in that way, that Sanskrit not translatable. Sometimes it has been attempted to translate in English, but really, see, the English, the meanings may not properly show what these words denote. So we'll keep on these original words. He says the Akasha is born, or it is created from this Maya Prakriti first. Tataha Akasha Sambhuta. And then from Akash, Akashat Vayuhu. Akash se Vayu utpanna hua. From this Akasha, Vayu. Vayu, commonly we may use the word air, but here it's, we are calling this Panchabhuta the Sushma. So he says from this Akash, Vayu is created. Then Vayus Tejaha. From this Vayu, Teja means the Agni, the fire, we may say. That has been created. And then Tejasa Apaha. From this fire, this Apa, water, is created. Details will come. This is the, when we will see the Pancha Bhuta and Sushma form, then will come the details in the gross forms later on. He says, Tejasa Apa. From the fire, the water is created. Then Adbha Prithivi. From this water, Jalsa Prithivi Utpanna Vai. From the fire, from the water, the earth has been created. It is born. So this is the first enumerating the five, the Panchabhutas within the, when he enumerates details, the Chaturvinasati, 24 tattvas. First mention the very basic constituents of the Panchabhuta. Then slowly he will tell upon the later, the ones, how that PanchiKarana and how the one after they are created will come at that. The Srishti program. In 20 he says, number 20, next point, he says, एतेषां पञ्चतत्त्वानां मध्ये आकाशस्य सात्विकांशात् श्रोत्रेन्द्रियं सम्भूतम्. What is he saying? He is saying that एतेषां, from this, कहाँ से? पंच महाभूत, which Panchamahatma we have already studied, these five, Akasha, Vayu, Teja, Apa and Prithvi. From this, five great elements, से पंचतत्त्वानां मध्ये आकाशस्य सात्विक अंशात् श्रोत्रेन्द्रियं सम्भूतम्. From these 5 elements, Panchamahabhuta say, from this Akash, the first one, from its Sattvic Angsha. We said that Maya, it is in the 3 Angshas, the nature of Sattva, Rajatama, from the Sattva part, from Sattva aspect of the Akasha. Srotrendriya, the ear, that Indriya, which is of the Gyanendriya, which is of Srotra, the ear, organ of hearing, it has been created. Likewise, he'll tell the others also, how the other Indriyas are created from that Panchamahabhuta scroll will come. We'll again, once we'll just change this. The presentation is not coming directly. We'll just change it once. Presentation. We got it now. So number 20 we said, from the Etesha Panchatattvanam Madhye Akashasa Sattvikamsha Stotrendryam Sambhutam. Likewise, all the from the Panchamahabhutas, one after another, the from its the Panchamahabhuta, one after other, the organs, the Indriyas, Gyanendriyas, the Karmendriyas, is slowly will come. We'll just enumerate the Indriyas right now, because we'll do the 24 Tattvas. We'll just see the numbers and one after another. Then next one he says 20.1, from Vayo Sattvika Amshat Tvak Indriyam Sambhutam. From Vayu, first we said Akasha, from Akasha Sattvika part, the Strotra Indriya, among the Gyanendriyas that was created. Then from Akasha Vayu, we already said earlier, from this Vayu, it's Sattvika Angsha. We said again from Maya as 3 constituents, the Sattva, Rajatama, from the Sattvika Angsha, Tvak Indriya, the Tvak, with the organ of touch, Sparshandriya. So that Indriya has been created. Then here come the next one, Akashat Vayu, Teja, Agni. Then Agni, 21.2, he says, Sattvika Angshat, Chakshu Indriyam Sambhutam. From the Agni, from the fire, from the Teja, it's Sattvika Angsha. All the Gyanendriyas we said, it's come from the Sattvika part of the Panchamahabhuta. So Teja Agnis, Sattvika part, Angshat, Chakshu Indriyam Sambhutam. The Chakshu Indriya, another Gyanendriya, it has been formed. Then Jalasya, Agni Te Apah, we read, and from Apa Prithivi. So from Agni Apa, from Jal, from water, the Jalasya Sattvika Angshat, Rasanendriyam Sambhutam. From the water, it's Sattvika Angsha. The Rasanendriya, the Gyanendriya which gives our organism taste, that has been created. Then the last, the 5th one, from the Prithivi, it's Sattvika Angshat, Dhranendriyam Sambhutam. The Dhrana Indriya, the organ of smell. This organ is formed from Sattvika Angsha. So now he said 5 Panchamahabhuta, then he has elaborated the 5 Gyanendriyas. This much has come from the Sattvika Angsha. Now we will come from the next part. From 21, we will start 21.1. Here he says, Etesha Panchatattvanam Samashti Sattvika Angsha Mana Buddhi Ahamkara Chitta Antakaranani Sambhutani. First we have read that Bahirindriya, the Gyanendriya we have read. Now we are coming to the Antarendriya. Antarendriya, which is Antakarana, which according to its function, it has been called with 4 names, Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. That he says, Etesham Panchatattvanam. From this Panchatattva, which we have read that that Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Upper Prithvi. From this, Shamasti Sattvika Angshat, from is the Shamasti, the total Sattvika content from that. Man, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chitta. This Antakaranani, the Antakaran, which is constituted of these four. Man, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chitta. Sambhutani, it has been formed. It is saying that Antakarana, according to this function, these four names are being given. So from this Sattva Guna, of this, all the five. So what is the difference between that Bahirindra which we already read? Their individual Panchamaha, from the individual Panchabhutas, from the Panchamahabhuta around Akash, is Sattvikangsha, we read Slotra, the organ of hearing came. Likewise, the Prithvi is Sattvikangsha, the Dhanendra, organ of taste came. Individual, one Pancha from one Bhuta, Sukshma Bhuta, and that Gyanendriyas were, each and every one Gyanendriya was formed. But here, in the case of Antarindriya, Antakaran, here all the totally the five Panchamas together in Sattvikangsha. This is the difference. Earlier there was also from Sattvikangsha, but from one Sushma Bhuta, one Gyanendriya was informed. And here also this was by Sattvikangsha, but all the five Panchamahuta together. That's why Etesham Panchatattvanam Samasti Sattvikangsha is given. So this is the difference here. And he says that this Man Buddhi Ahankar Chitta comes. Now he'll elaborate that the division or the function or the definition of all these four. Man Buddhi Chitta Ahankar. As we said, Antakaran Antariti is one only, but according to its function, how it is functioning, according to the four names and four functions, four definitions given. We'll first come to the definition of Mana as per its function, how it's as per its working, how it works. 21.2 he says, Sankalpa Vikalpatmakam Manaha. Mind is one, Sankalpa Vikalpatmaka hota hai. One is the nature of indecision or doubt. Sankalpa means the mind, it says that when we need to take a decision, that when wavering mind, when it says that let me do this or let me not do this, should I do this or should I not do this, this when we are not yet coming to a decision, we are waving like a pendulum, we are going from one side to another side, we are changing, that we are thinking, cogitating over that, but not yet come to a decision. That functioning of the mind of the Antakaran, it is called Mana. When it is wavers, not yet come to the decision. But now when it comes to the decision, it makes that firm decision, I will do this, I will not do that. So that part or the function of that part, aspect of mind of Antakarana is called Buddhi. So in 21.3 he says, Nischayatmika Buddhi. So earlier in Mana he said that Sankalpa Vikalpanatmaka Vikalpanatmakam Manaha. That was nature of indecision and doubt. But here Buddhi is Nischayatmika Buddhi. Intellect is the nature of decision. When it takes a firm decision, I will do this or I will not do that. Before taking the decision, when he is still thinking, cogitating over that, that function is called man. And when he takes firm decision, decision, then it is called buddhi. Then the letter 2 of the ahankar and chitta also will come. 21.4 he says, ahamkarta ahankaraha. Ahamkarta ahankaruta. Ahamkarta, that I am the doer. Ahamkarta, I am the doer. That I am doing this of whatever the function we are doing. This sense, this ego, this is called ahankara. As we know, the Atman is said that Atman is Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta, it is Drashta, Sakshi, it's only witness. But this ego or ahankar, he feels that I am the doer, I am the karta. So this sense of the antakaran, that I, where this I sense come, that from that becomes the me and mine, and then division, the you and yours, the division, limitation comes, the beginning of this I sense. So that aspect of the antakarana is called ahamkara. That I am ahamkarta, I am the doer. Then he comes up the chitta. Chintana kartri chittam. Chintana karta, chitta hota hai. The thinking faculty, the faculty of recollections, or the memory, smaranatmaka chitta, that which thinks, remembers, recollects things and reminds itself, and from memory it comes back the thinking that brings out that old the thoughts associations, so what memory was and there some kind of the form. So that faculty to remember that, to make a smaran of that, remembrance or reminding, that functioning is called chitta. Now he will say it, for each this functioning of that four functioning of this antakarana, there devatas. Earlier we remember for like in the Gyanendriya also there were devatas for each Gyanendriya. Devata we said that idea, devata means that functioning of those Gyanendriyas. Here also now he said for this antakaran also, for the man, buddhi, chitta, ahankara, according to its function, and devata who guides it towards its own work. It has been associated with one devata. Devata we said earlier from Dev Dhatu, Pani Prakasha, he gives illumines his devata. হ্যাঁ কেউ হাত উঠিয়েছেন বলুন কিছু বলতে চাইলে বলুন কিছু বলতে চাইবেন somebody raise the hand if you want to say something
না আমার ভুল করে ওটা হয়ে গেছিল আমি
all right ঠিক
এখনই
আছে
দেখলাম ক্লাসটা শুরু হয়েছে সরি
ঠিক so let us continue that 21.6 will do that four functioning of that antakarana. Each has its own devata. Devata we said that from Dev Dhatu one who the prakasha illumines, who activates as it were, or helps that indriya to function properly. So that aspect is another we call that called devata. Therefore we say that as form of gods or deities, that also a form, but here also they have that functioning, that philosophy also, this idea has been put. Both way it can be taken up. So manaso devata chandrama, buddhir brahma, ahankarasya rudraha, chittasya vasudevah. Four presiding deities we say, the मन के देवता चंद्रमा है, moon. Then बुद्धि, बुद्धि के देवता ब्रह्मा जी. And then ahankarasya, the devata is Rudra. And for Chittasya, the preceding devata is Vasudeva. Four devatas enumerated for each. For mind, Chandrama. Mind is linked to moon. And like moon, there is a high tide and low tide. We see in our own mind, there sometimes your mind is elated, sometimes mind is depressed, and that way that mind has very connection and very similarity with the like that functioning like of moon, Chandrama. Then Buddhir Brahma. Then the decision, when you take decision that I'll do this, Brahma is a Srishtikarta, Hiranyagarbha. So he makes a creation. By tapas, he makes a creation. So Buddhi is a decisive faculty. When you take a definite decision, there's no more high tide and low tide. And you take firm decision that I'll do this and you become some work or make any arrangement, do some productive work like that. Like creation, Brahma is. So Buddhist Devata is Brahma. Then Ahankara is a Rudraha. That the idea of that I am the doer, the Rudra. Rudra, when we say the aspect of Shiva, or the Rudras are also within the pantheon of deities, Devata, Rudra is there, who asserts that, the, that for the human beings, whenever I say that I am the doer, that our own faculty, that asserting of my own firmly very much of our own ideas and everything about my being and my existence. That part is saying that ahamkar, that I am the doer, that myself, my own being, that my beingness. So that is the devata of that is Rudra. Then Chittasa, that will do the Smaran, that will remembers, recollects, reminds or remembers, that is Vasudeva. Vasudeva Paramatma, that's why in the Chitta it is said that you have to think of God always. and that remember, that is a remembrance, Smaran. So always remember God, so that God, the Vasudeva Paramatman, so he is the presiding deity of Vasudeva. So he helps us to remind the Godhead of our own being or of our own reality. So that way Chitta is connected to its own deity, so that we connect to our real source. I remember that we are reality. Then he says about that Karmendriya. We have read about the Gyanendriyas earlier, and that from there how it was developed. Now comes the Karmendriya from 22.1. Here there is a small printed mistake also. We'll just go over that. एतेषां पञ्चतत्त्वानां मध्ये आकाशस्य राजस्य अंशात् त्वगिन्द्रियं सम्भूतम्. Here this Vak Indriya is a printing mistake. It will be Vak Indriya. Vak Indriya. Organ of speech. Vak is a printing mistake here. So we need to correct that in the 22.1. It has to be Etesham Pancha Tattvanam Madhye Akashasya Rajasa Anshat Vak Indriyam Sambhutam. For this Pancha Tattva, these five elements Akasha, Vayu, Teja, Apa, Prithvi, from this five elements from the Akasha. We have read from Akasha's the Sattva Anshat. We read that from Sattva Anshat the Sotra was coming, the Gyanendriya. And from same Akasha, the Rajasi Anshat, comes the Vag Indriya, the Karmendriya. Not Svag Indriya, it is a printing mistake. Vag Indriya. In the Hindi and English correction is given. Vag Indriya, organ of speech, comes from the Rajasic Ansha. Now we are telling of the Karmendriyas. For Karmendriya, it is a Rajasic Ansha. In the Gyanendriya, it was the Sattva Ansha. And in the Karmendriya, it is a Rajasic Ansha. From Akasha comes the Vag Indriya, organ of speech. Then comes 22.2 Vayoh Rajasa Anshat Pani Indriyam Sambhutam. Akashat Vayu. From Vayu's Sattvic Anshat we found that there it was Tvak was there. But in the Rajasa Anshat it is a Pani Indriya, the hand, that in the Karmendriya. That has been Sambhutam, that has been formed. Then comes the Varni, the Teja, the Agni. So the fire is Rajasa Anshat Pada Indriyam Sambhutam. From the Agni, it's Rajasa Anshat, the Padendriya, the leg, has been formed. Here, this is the enumerating the different Panchatattvas, the Gyanendriyas, Karmendriyas, Panchabhuta, and the Antaparanas right in this. So it may be a little bit more dry, may appear a little bit dry only to like memorizing or this ideas, but this is just to gloss over the strictly Prakaran. We are saying not much to explain here, but some technical terminologies in Vedantas, how this creation program is there. Then if you just innovate and read up. So from the Agni 22.3, from the Rajas Amsha, the Rajasic aspect of the burning, or that Agni, Teja, fire, the Pada Indriya, the leg, the Parvendriya has been formed or created. Then Varne Jal, so from Varne there is the Apa, water. From water's Sattvic Anshat we read earlier, that was it was coming that Jiva, that Rasana, taste, but from the Rajasic Anshat, Upastha Indriyam Sambhutam, Upastha, the anus that has been formed from the Rajasic aspect of the water. Then the last one he comes from Prithvi. In the from Prithvi the Sattvic Anshat we read about the Gyanendriya earlier. It was coming, but it was coming, the organ of taste was coming. In case of Prithvi, the Sattvic Anshat, the Prāṇāyāma was formed. But in Karmendriya, 22.5, Prithvi Rajasa Anshat, Budendriya Sambhutam. So Prithvi, the Rajasa Anshi, the Sattvic Ansha was formed by the Grana Indriya, the Gyanendriya, but when we come to the Karmendriya, from the Rajasic aspect, Buddha Indriya is the genitals, the creative, the generative organs, they have been sambhutam, they are created. So now he came, told, enumerated the five pancha mahabhuta, sushma bhuta, and then the five gyanendriya. He told the five karmendriya. He also told the four Antakarana is the four, Antarindriya the four aspect. This much you have told. Then will come the next part, that how it has been formed. He says in 23, Etesham Samashti Rajasa Angshat Pancha Prana Sambhuta. Then, like in this case of the Antakarana, Mana Buddhi Chitta Ahankar, the Sattvika Angsha together, we read earlier, the Panchamahabhuta Sattvika Angsha together, it came, we read in this number, we can see that, that in number 21.1, we read there, Etesham Panchatattvanam Samashti Sattvika Angshat Mana Buddhi Ahankara Chitta Antakara Sambhutani. Like in case of Pancha Mahabhutas, Sattvika Samashti together, all the Pancha Mahabhutas together, Akash, Vayu, Tej, Jal and Prithvi together. Like in case of Gyanendriya Kamendra, that was individually, one. But together all the five Pancha Mahabhutas, Sattvika, it was formed the Antakaran, one Buddhi Chitta Ahankar. Similarly, here, now in the Rajasa Angsha, say Etesham 23 we are coming now. Etesham Samashti Rajasa Angshat Pancha Prana Sambhuta. From the Pancha Mahabhuta, from the Akasha, Vayu, Tej, Apaha, Prithvi, together is Rajasa Angshat Pancha Prana. We read about the Pancha Prana earlier. Prana, Apana, Vyana, Samana, Udana. Last day. These are born. Sambhuta, created. So now we came out the 24 tattvas. What are they? First we got the here Pancha Prana, 5. We got that Pancha Gyanendriya, 5. We got Pancha Karmendriya. So 5 and 5 and 5, 15. And then Pancha Mahabhuta, Sishvarta Bhuta, Akasha, Vayu, Tej, Apa, Prithvi. So 20. And then we got the Antakarana. Antakarana, though it is 1, but according to function, 1 Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara is 4. So 20 plus 4, 24. So this chapter comes the enumerating the total. In the beginning we read in this chapter, Jagat Utpatti. This chapter in the beginning we read that Atha Chaturvimshati Tattva Utpatti Prakaram Vakshyama. The 17 in the beginning chapter he said, I will explain the evolution of the 24 tattvas. So that way he came to the 24 tattva. He said, how it is 24? The Pancha Mahabhuta is Akash, Vayu, Tej, Apa, and Prithvi. This 5. Then comes from each, from Akasha Sattva part comes Srotra, one Gyanendriya, then Vayu Sattva part comes Tvakendriya, then Agni Sattva part comes Chakshu Indriya, then Jala Sattva part comes Rasana Indriya, then Prithvi Sattva part comes Dhanendriya. So 5 Gyanendriya he said, so 5 Pancha Mahabhuta and 5 Gyanendriyas, 10 he said. Then he said that from the Akar, that 5 Pancha Mahabhutas all together, Sattva part, brings up that Antakarana, Manbuddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. So 5 Panchamahavudya said, then 5 Gyanendriya said, 5, 5, 10. Then he said that Antakarana 4, Manbuddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. So 10 plus 4, 14 he said here. Then after 14, he said about that each Panchamahavudya from Rajasa Angsha, from Akasa's Rajasa Angsha, the Karmendriya. Then Raja Akash it came that Vagindriya. Then from Vayu, Rajasamsa came the Pani Indriya. Then Agni, Rajasamsa came the Pada Indriya. Jala Rajasamsa came the Upastha Indriya. Prithvi Rajasamsa came the Buddha Indriya. So 5 Karmendriya he said. So earlier we read 5 plus Pancha Mahabhuta, Pancha Gyanendriya, 5 plus 10. Then 4 Antakaranas, that Manbuddhi Chitta 14. Now he came that 5 Karmendriya, 14 plus 5, 19. Then he says in 23 number, Etesha Sam Shamasti Rajasa Amshat Panchakarana Sambhuta. Panchaprana means Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana, Samana. From this Pancha Mahabhuta, this Rajasa Amsha together forms the Panchaprana. So 19 plus 5, 24. So here comes the total 24. Chaturvinshati Tattva. Now he asks that how this 24, the Panchikaranam Katham iti chet. Then how this gross body, how it's formed. Because what we have read is now up to it's from the Sukshma Shari. Whatever we read we have read earlier, no? We remember that this Gyanendriya, Karmendriya belongs to the Sukshma Shari, subtle body. It doesn't belong to the Sthula Shari, our gross body with our flesh and bones. It belongs to the Sukshma Shari. And Pancha Mahabhuta also is a Sukshma. They are not gross. So then how this gross body is formed, the Sthula Sharira, how it happens. That he says in the 24.1, he says, Panchikaranam Katham iti chet. This process of forming the gross body, Sthula Sharira, it is called Panchikarana. That is a term given in Vedanta. And all these are comes from Upanishads only, because these are given to main Upanishads in the Shruti. It is not formed in his own way, he is just enumerating or he is forming these ideas. It is all given in the Shruti, in the Upanishads, in the Vedas. So he is saying that if it is asked how this Panchikarana, grossification takes place, this as follows. He will give the process of Panchikarana. This process is called Panchikarana, means from the Sukshma aspect of this Gyanendriya, Karmendriya, Pancha Prana, Antakarana, and this Pancha Mahabhuta, Sushma Bhuta, how this gross body, that's gross, this Akasha, gross is Vayu, this gross Teja, fire, which we see in our eyes, which we touch that water in the gross. Earlier, which we said they were not gross, they were subtle. That's why we said the Sanskrit are non-translatable. Though earlier we used these words that between Sukshma, Gyanendriya part and Pancha Sukshma, they used that word that fire earlier, but those were not palpable or we cannot perceive them. Those were Sukshma or subtle. But now when Panchikarana happens, then only gross form comes, then only you can just that you can see the like you can touch the water, you can see the fire, Prithvi, this gross element is the earth you can see, and this gross body will be out of this Pancha Mahabhuta, this gross body, our own body, or any beings, or any world you see, any other animals, any trees, or any stones, whatever gross we are seeing, we are experiencing through our eyes, everything, it can then undergo through the process of Panchikarana. The process name, this is a technical term, Panchikarana, through which the earlier all this Sukshma thing, Sukshma Bhutas and Sukshma Bhuta undergoes the process. Then really it is perceptible. We can experience and we can perceive this gross fire, gross water, gross Prithvi, etc. etc. This process he says in 24.2, which is called Panchikarana. Initially, Panchikarana, it will be a very difficult to understand because it is a little bit of mathematics here. Will 24 will say it's a very little bit difficult because it's a new concept. We'll say just 25 will say what is ending that, and we'll come back again to 24. 25 he says that etebhya panchikrita panchamahabhutebhya sthula shariram bhavati. From this panchikrita panchamahabhuta, that earlier was Pancha Sukshma Bhuta, which we read earlier from that, we said from Maya or the Prakriti, that Akash and Vayu, Agni, Earth, which became. He says after this Panchikarana, this process happens, then we get that Pancha Mahabhuta, we get that, the gross elements we get, Mahabhutebhya, then Sthula Shariram Bhavati. From this, Sthula Sharira, gross body is formed. After this Panchikarana happens, from this Sukshma, that Bhuta, Panchamahabhuta, when it happens, the gross Panchamahabhuta happens in the gross form, then only the gross body, Sthula Sharira of human body, other animals, plants, or in the Sthavar Jangam or whatever we can perceive in this universe, it happens. So this process, how it happens, we will see in this number 24. Little bit mathematics, it will be difficult, little bit maybe difficult initially to understand. Just will enumerate in the 24.2. Let us see what it says. It says, Etesham Pancha Mahabhutanam Tamasa Amsha Swarupam Ekam Ekam Bhutam Vidha Vibhajya Ekam Ekam Ardha Prithak Vyavastha अपरम अर्ध चतुर्धा विभज्य स्वार्ध मन्येषु अर्थेषु स्वभाग चतुष्टय संयोजनम कार्यम तदा पंचीकरणम भवति से इस प्रकार पंचीकरण होता है डिफिकल्ट मैथमेटिक्स हियर टू एट द बिगिनिंग little bit of arithmetic is there we did arithmetic in the school days he says how this pancha mahuta happens I will read further translation in Panch Mahabhuta means that which we read earlier, that Akash, Vayu, Agni, Apa, Prithvi. Very beginning we read here, if we read it here, where we read Jagat Utpatti mein from in 18 and 19 said that Brahmasraya, Sattva, Raja, Tama, Gunatmika, Maya Asti. From Brahma, it is Asraya nature, that is a Sattva, Tama, Raja, Maya is there, Prakriti is there, another name for Maya, Prakriti. From there, Tata Akasha Sambhuta, from that Maya or Prakriti, that Akasha, and then from Akasha to Vayu Teja, from Tej to Apa, then from Apa to Prithvi. This Pancha Sukshma Bhuta was there. From here now says, from all these 5 Sukshma Bhuta, he says in this 24, in Pancha Mahabhuta ke, Tamagun ke Angsha, we remember from this 5 Mahabhuta, Sukshma Bhuta, Sattva Angsha se kya hua tha? We remember from Sattva Angsha, each Sattva Angsha came Stotra, Tap, Ittadi, individually, the Gyanendriya. And Sattva Angsha together, all the 5 Sukshma Bhuta together, Sattva Angsha se hua tha, Man Buddhi Chitta Ahankar. Rajas Angsha se kya hua tha? We read that from Rajas Angsha se individually came up the Karmendriya. जैसे आकाश से बाघ फिर वायु से पानी we read earlier कर्मेंद्रिय came up and from the pancha sukshma bhuta together rajasamsa together came the pancha prana this much we read so from the sukshma bhutas swatvangsa individually swatvangsa together samashti we read gyanendriya and the antakarana and the rajasamsa individually came the karmendriya rajasamsa together came the pancha prana now the tamamsa is coming tamamsa we said na that Maya is, from Sattva Rajatama is constitutes 3 things. Sattva he said, Raja he said, now we come to the Tama part of this Pancha Mahabhuta, Sukshma Bhuta. There, from this Tama Gun का अंश से 2 भाग में विभाजित होकर आधे को छोड़कर बाकी के अर्धभाग के 4 भागों में विभाजन होता है प्रत्येक के चौथा हिस्सा आधे में मिल जाता है इस प्रकार पंचीकरण होता है आई थिंक नथिंग विल बी अंडरस्टूड हियर हाउ दिस मैथमेटिक्स हैपन लेट अस फर्स्ट रीड द इंग्लिश अगेन he said the tama aspect of each of the 5 elements which 5 elements that akash vayu tej apa and prithvi from this pancha sukshma bhuta जाकर सत्व से इंडिविजुअली हम लोग ज्ञानेंद्रिय पढ़ा है जहाँ से टुगेदर अंतरिंद्रिय पढ़ा है अंतःकरण पढ़ा है जहाँ पे रजस से इंडिविजुअल कर्मेंद्रिय पढ़ा है रजस से टुगेदर पंच प्राण पढ़ा है अभी वी हैव रेड दैट नाउ द तम एस्पेक्ट्स फ्रॉम ईच 5 एलिमेंट्स divide into 2 equal parts आधा आधा करो 1/2 plain arithmetic half plus half is purna 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1 so half divide into equal parts 1/2 of each remains intact एक half जो 1/2 remain as it is then the other half another जो 1/2 now each gets divided into 4 equal parts so other जो half है 1/2 है 1/2 will be 1/2 remains the same another 1/2 of each pancha sushma bhuta divides into another in 4 equal parts so 1/2 का 4 equal part होने से कितना होता है plain arithmetic mathematics it is 1/8 is it not 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 is equal to 1/2 you see plain arithmetic you can now in by decimal you can understand today we use the decimal more easily 0.5 plus 0.5 is 1 so that is first is dividing it into equal parts then 0.5 you keep it intact then another 0.5 divide in 4 equal parts so 4 equal parts then that for each intact half of one element, 1/8 portion, 1/8 portion from each of the other 4 elements gets joined. Then this Panchakarana process by which the subtle elements become the gross elements, Pancha Mahabhuta, that which we see, we can perceive this Akash, Vayu, Tej, we can see this fire, we can touch this water, we can drink water, or we can touch this Prithvi, earth, which this our own body is formed, or any human body, any animal, any plant is formed, this Pancha Mahabhuta, gross Bhuta is formed. So how it's formed, we'll give an example. Still, it is not clear because this pattern is a little bit arithmetic difficult. Let's just take one example of suppose Prithvi Bhuta, the earth, the Prithvi, Akashat Vayu, Vayu Teja, Tejo Apa Prithvi. Let's take the last one, Prithvi. How this earth is formed, this gross earth, which we can see the earth, we can touch this earth, that how this gross is formed. उसके लिए we have to take the half portion, 0.5 means 1/2 portion of the Sukshma Prithvi. Within the Pancha Sukshma Bhuta, there were Prithvi was there, Akashat Vayu, Vayu Teja, Teja Apa Prithvi. Sukshma Bhuta, which is Sukshma, this subtle, which cannot be perceived, which cannot be seen, which cannot be touched. So that you take 1/2 of Sukshma Bhuta of that Prithvi. Then from the other 4 bhutas, Sukshma Bhuta, like Akash, Vayu, Agni and Apa, you take 1/8, 1/8 of Akasha, you take 1/8 of Vayu, and all Sukshma, you take 1/8 of Agni, you take 1/8 of water, Apaha. So together, 1/2 of the Sukshma, 1/2 is a half portion total, 0.5 half portion of the Sukshma Prithvi, and other half portion for the other half to make it full one, you take the 1/8 of Akash, Vayu, Agni and water of the Sukshma each. Then this 1/8 of this becomes 4 together means 1/2, and then 1/2 of the original Prithvi, and this together of this 4 other Sukshma Bhuta makes the one full one. It makes 1/2 plus 1/2 or 0.5 plus 0.5 is 1. It makes the gross Prithvi Bhuta. Is it understood? I think still it may be a little difficult. কেউ কোনো এখানে প্রশ্ন করলে বলতে পারেন যে আজকের এই অংশটা this chapter is ending here. This arithmetic may be a little bit very gross and very difficult. If you could show in the blackboard, write it down, it could be a little easier. But we do not have a board here to write it down. Anybody, Nirmallo or anybody, PanchiKarana? Was it?
মহারাজ প্রশ্ন নেই কিছু, তবে এগুলো একটু মানে মনে রাখাও সমস্যা।
It is, in fact, it is not that important to remember it. In fact, ultimately, all the meaning of this idea, we said this chapter, this third chapter is not about any philosophical thing, only is enumerating this technical some terms. And the idea why he is telling about the Srishti, in the very beginning in the Vedanta it says Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. Ultimately, all this is Mithya, we have to negate that. Because ultimately this is not the final, but before negating, just to get some ideas so that explanation isn't given. So it doesn't matter much about that, our own realization or our own goal. But because a philosophical way it has been given, and it is given in the Shruti itself, the Upanishads, this thing. So it has been mentioned in the Vedanta things. এটা আর একটা এক্সাম্পল যদি দেখেন একটু ক্লিয়ার আর একটু হতে পারে। ধরুন আর একটা এক্সাম্পল নিচ্ছি, ধরুন आकाश के हाफ 0.5 अर्थात 1/2 मान सूक्ष्म भूत का आप लीजिए। उसके बाद बाकी जो 4 सूक्ष्म भूत है अर्थात वायु, अग्नि और पृथ्वी, हर एक का 1/8 लीजिए। मैंने पहले ही बोला था, we said that earlier that each सूक्ष्म भूत has to first divided by 1/2 and 1/2. 1/2 remains intact, and another 1/2 it divides into again in 4 parts में 1/2 का 4 पार्ट होने से 1/8 हो जाता है। तो हर एक जो 1/8 वो दूसरे सूक्ष्म भूत के साथ जुड़ते हैं। अर्थात आकाश के लिए आकाश का सूक्ष्म भूत से ग्रॉस आकाश जो स्थूल आकाश कैसे बनेगा, तो सूक्ष्म आकाश का 1/2 लीजिए, उसके साथ सूक्ष्म वायु का 1/8, सूक्ष्म अग्नि का 1/8, सूक्ष्म अप या जो सूक्ष्म जो जल जो अप उसको 1/8, सूक्ष्म जो पृथ्वी उसको 1/8, तो लेने से आकाश का 1/2 रहा, 1/2 मैंने अर्थात 0.5, और यहाँ पे जो बाकी जो 4 सूक्ष्म भूत को 1/8 ईच लिया, ये 4 1/8 लेने से 0.5 फिर हो जा रहा है। 1/8 मतलब हो रहा है 0.5 का आधा है 0.25, 0.125। 1/8 मतलब हम लोग आज का डेसिमल में गिनेंगे तो जो इजी होता है 0.125। 0.125 का वायु, 0.125 अग्नि, 0.125 अपह, 0.125 पृथ्वी, ये 4 लेने से कितना हो रहा है 0.125, 0.125, 0.25 फिर 0.5 हो जा रहा है, तो 0.5 अर्थात फिर 1/2 हो गया। तो ओरिजिनल जो आकाश सूक्ष्म भूत को 1/2 था, और ये बाकी चारों से 1/8 अर्थात 0.125 लेते लेते 1/2 और भी 0.5 हो गया, तो पूरा जोड़ने से ग्रॉस जो स्थूल आकाश हुआ। हर एक को ऐसे हो रहा है, ये तमोअंश से मैंने बताया, तमोअंश से हो रहा है। वायु का भी वही है, 1/2 ऑफ सूक्ष्म वायु एंड 1/8 ऑफ आकाश अग्नि अप पृथ्वी। अग्नि के लिए भी वही है, सूक्ष्म अग्नि का 1/2, उसके साथ आकाश वायु आप तेज पृथ्वी का 1/8 0.125 लेके स्थूल अग्नि हुआ, दैट आवर पैल्पेबल परसिबल फायर हो रहा है। अपो वाटर का भी हो रहा है, सूक्ष्म जो वाटर सूक्ष्म जो आप अप का 1/2, उसके साथ आकाश वायु अग्नि और पृथ्वी का 1/8 अर्थात 0.125 लेके टोटल 0.5, और सूक्ष्म वाटर का 0.5 था मिलके ग्रॉस जो वाटर जो वी कैन टच दैट वाटर, वो वाटर हो रहा है। All this coming from the thermal part, we said. And Prithvi also we said that 1.2, 1/2 or 0.5 पृथ्वी सूक्ष्म भूत, उसके साथ आकाश वायु अग्नि और आपका सूक्ष्म पार्ट का 1/8 अर्थात 0.125 लेके 0.5 और ये हाफ और 0.5 टोटल लेके फुल पार्ट ऑफ स्थूल पृथ्वी हुआ। ये तम पार्ट से हुआ। ये just a technical thing. This chapter is nothing about much that way philosophical ideas, but enumerating these things because it comes again. We read this today. So, आज एमनी आर किछु any other question today? They're almost to my way yesterday. 5 minutes to there. You किछु बोलबे निर्मल लोग किछु भी बोलते थे, any observations today? It was getting boring today that way, just enumerating the names, and if you want in little details,
এগুলি পরে কোন
get
কাজে
in
লাগবে
Vedanta
মহারাজ?
sir also. হ্যাঁ নির্মল বল।
এই ইনফরমেশন গুলো পরে কোন কাজে লাগবে, মানে যখন আমরা আরো মানে অন্য চ্যাপ্টার গুলো পড়বো তখন এগুলোর কি তার ইম্পর্টেন্সটা কি, এগুলো কোন জিনিস থেকে কোন জিনিস তৈরি হবে?
হ্যাঁ, important means not too much that way, but when the Sthula Sharira he'll inform that there are different types of Sthula Sharira, and because these are in the Sankhya, these are also in the Sankhya also, all these things. And we said that Sankhya Darshan is the very basis of Vedanta. All these things which are enumerating, all these things, already in a Sankhya Darshan. And Sri Krishna also says in Gita many times, because already in Kapila Sankhya Darshan is there, all these things are there. So Vedanta, that's why it takes up, he doesn't reject anything. Whatever all these ideas and this explanation, all these what calculation we given in the Upanishad and through the Darshan formed in Sankhya, Vedanta takes up everything. And only difference is that where Sankhya he remains as dualistic, that he remains that Purusha is different and Prakriti is different in the end result. Vedanta, he rejects that idea, he goes to non-dualism, and he says in ultimate analysis, this Prakriti or Maya, it is Maya, and all this which we said, all this arithmetic mathematics which we did today, ultimately all this has to be negated. has to be given up. Finally, all this ultimately Maya. And when Sankhya says you just give up Prakriti and remain as Purusha, here Vedanta says is not to be given up. Means it is ultimately it was an illusion. It was not everything what we are seeing, like in Swapna, when we see in the dream, we dream in the dream, we see so many things in our animals or happenings or houses and so many work functioning. There we think it is a very rational in the dream time. It is very causation is there, it cause and effect. Nothing is coincident, nothing is absurd during dream time. But when we wake up, we understand the dream was very absurd dream, we thought. But when we were within the dream, it was very rational. We didn't find anything absurd. We found a cause and effect relationship there. Similarly, here also, where Sankhya gives all this explanation, this is PanchiKarana arithmetic, this mathematics like that. Vedanta takes up everything, like in dream state. But in the end, when Vedanta transcends this Sankhya also, he says this is like a dream state. Though you remember all these things that right now, it seems very rational on this after this step by step everything. In ultimate analysis, when you wake up, dream is irrelevant. Like when you get that your realization in Vedanta, all these things are without any relevance. It doesn't have any relevance at all. Doesn't have any meaning at all. This is a Rajita Sarpara, this is Jagat Mithya. Brahma is Alani Satya. So Vedanta doesn't visualize. Swamiji says that we move from not from erect to truth, from a lower truth to higher truth. That's why Swamiji says when a small boy, he is a PhD in mathematics probably, when he'll still remember his childhood days when he used to remember mathematics, namta, বাচ্চা বয়সে আমরা namta পড়তাম mathematics like abracadabra and that ABCD we used to alphabet we used to remember by help of this images. But when we become a very highly scholarly person, then we do not need to understand this small ABCD or 1, 2, 3, 4. But we do not reject that way. We do not laugh at them. We do not ridicule them. Because that was a stage once upon we were there same. But now we have grown up. That way Vedanta takes up very lovingly that Sankhya, whatever you say, we are taking up, we are not nothing rejecting that. There is such a big, wonderful heart in Vedanta, we can say. We are nothing rejecting. But that we are allowing everything within our own fold, but we are helping you to show there's something beyond also is there. This is not the final thing, there is something beyond. When you go that beyond, like when you wake up from your dream, everything just fades away, doesn't matter anything that way. Like Thakur says in Sri Ramakrishna that when a boy is in a typhoid, he's in delirium, he says so many things to mother that mother I'll eat this food and I'll this. Mother says all right, yes, 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 yes. Mother doesn't never rejects that, or he says no, 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 he doesn't do that. He said all that you'll do, you'll eat this. See, you're eating this, you'll eat because the boy is in delirium. Mother just accepts everything by yes, yes. But when the boy wakes up after being well from the typhoid fever, then he sees nothing, whatever he was seeing in the delirium, nothing was there. And this is a loving way of mother to taking up a boy from the small thing to higher and higher thing. This is the greatness or grandness of Vedanta. And this idea is coming from Sankhya. Nirmala, bolo.
হ্যাঁ বুঝতে পারছি মহারাজ এইগুলো কি পরে আমাদের পঞ্চকোশ বিচার বলুন বা দৃশ্য বিবেক এগুলোতে কাজে লাগবে?
In Vedanta there is not much use, we say. Will become the Vedanta idea is Sravana Manana Nidhyasana through Mahavakya. This is the idea of Vedanta. Vedanta says that you get from Guru gives the Mahavakya and you do Sravana, first hear that, then do Manana, you do Vichara, Atma and Atma that Vichara, but you will get that the Brahmasati Jagatmita, then you do Nidhyasana, you realize. In Vedanta it is not required, not at all required. But in a yoga philosophy, if you follow the path of yoga, and today's day that if you read that Hariharananda Aranya's Patanjali Yoga Sutra Yoga book, he was probably the only person from the Kapil Mutt in Bihar that he followed the path of yoga and philosophy of Sankhya Darshan in his own life. Generally, we study Sankhya, but we do not subscribe to the philosophy of Sankhya. We subscribe to the philosophy of Vedanta, today's world. But he alone probably he followed also and believed in the path of Sankhya Darshan also. That was his own philosophy which he ascribed to. He rejected the idea of Vedanta. And so that's why he followed the path of yoga, which is in Patanjali Yoga Sutra given. It was dear Patanjali Yoga Sutra for this tattva. You can get this 24 tattva, you can realize this tattva. You can do dhyana on this tattva, and details it is given in Patanjali Yoga Sutras. You can do dhyana and you can realize each tattva individually if you want. There is a very thorough and process given in the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. But that is the path of yoga, we said, which we do not follow generally. We follow the path of Vedanta today, today's world. We don't know today anybody is following that Sankhya path. So we can read that in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it is given. How to realize each tattva individually. You can realize
Yes,
that.
it will be nice. I mean, because we don't have the time and energy and luxury
That-
of going
exactly.
through all this. I mean, just in
And
gist or summary, I mean, what is the mool upapadya of the
because in Shruti it comes from the Ishvara, Parameshvara, and Kapila, Sri Krishna himself says that the Siddhana, that the Kapila Muni, he says that the Sankhya Darshan is the greatest soul, that way the is a beginner. If he was not there, Vedanta, it will be very difficult to arrive. He is the very beginning, the first part that he built up the whole edifice of Sankhya like a pyramid. Then in the pyramid, the top, that Vedanta later on only added one thing, Vedanta. But everything, the pyramid is built up like by Sankhya only. So we accept those things, and we do not never. This as I said, that not necessary today, and slowly with time, like in Kali Yuga, we are still reducing even that sadhana also competent people are less for yoga sadhana, and even from Brahma Vidya, Sravana Manadhyasana, very few people may be able to do that. Many people today's Kali Yuga is said by Nama Japa, but taking the name of Lord in Kali Yuga, because we are so low that way in our struggle, and we are so less competent. Even Vedanta Sravana Manadhyasana is very difficult for us. So Nama Japa and taking the name of Lord is given in Kali Yuga by avatars and the great saints also. So, but this is the greatness of Vedanta. We retained whatever we got from the rishis. We never reject. This is a very great. You see that, and during the puja, the homa. Today, earlier there was a Bronze Age, and then Iron Age became in the history also says. And today we use stainless steel, or we use aluminium and iron things. But during puja time, you see that earlier age, that tama, kasha, that those things still there are very sacred for the puja bartan that we use in the puja. Puja, you do not naturally do puja with stainless steel or aluminium, still puja utensils. Still you do puja with the tamakasha, which was from the earlier Bronze Age. Or when you do homa, we do homa like earlier yoga was done. Today we can homa, we can lighten a fire easily by using that lighter or matchstick. But during home also still we follow that ancient ritual. Like ancient they used to do arani card, they used to by friction, they used to light up the fire. So that same similar rituals in puja during homa we follow. Like we use two carts, arani, and we in the symbolical way we light up the fire in the homa. So this is the
home
greatness
to
of, because Esha Dharma Sanatana, when we move forward, we move forward and but it is Puratana, it is Pura also Nava Eva. It is also old, it is also new. We never reject the old greatness, we never forget our old great and we never reject them. That's why we retained all these things and we do not laugh at them. But we only transcended that there's something higher is there. You remember these things, but you can transcend that. Like I gave the example of this puja today. Nirmal, well,
no, I mean, I was just going to ask you about homa. So during homa, we use fire from the lamp, right?
না কিন্তু দেখবে যখন ও দুটো এই যে ইয়ে ধরা হয় না, যে ওই অরণি কাঠের মধ্যে দুটি দুটি কাঠ ওটা নিয়ে করা হয় যখন প্রথম করা হয়, দেখবে দুটি কাঠ সেভাবে নিয়ে
Maybe for the Vedic, I mean the Vedic yajnas and homas, they do like that probably.
Huh. And Vedic Homas still I saw some YouTube even videos that like Stringiri or somewhere or some other Vedic Homas they were doing that which is called Srota Yaga, Smarta Yaga, those different. There was
Yes.
still they are doing by the friction even still doing.
Okay.
I saw in YouTube video or Facebook video. It was shown that some fire or some wooden utensil was there. Within that, they are continuously doing friction, and after some friction, a spark was coming out, and through the spark, then slowly, the fire was kindled. Still, fully they were doing, but here, which today we do Homa commonly, we symbolically do that. At least we hold that two wooden stick. That which we do still today. We hold up with wooden stick, and there we put up from the lamp. It's fine, but we like symbolically we hold two wooden stick. This wooden stick is symbolic of that earlier that doing friction. We are not doing friction, but holding symbolically to that wooden stick. So this way.
Okay, Maharaj.
So let's shall we end today? Any more questions? Then we'll do that first. That Puna mantra of Mahavaccharan, and little bit for intellectual jugglery or intellectual practice exercise. This was good. That way. There are people who want intellectual exercise also. That way. Uh, nice for at least to learn these concepts and PanchiKarana because it's given in the Smriti related. And next class again the philosophical part will come in the fourth chapter. Today we finished the third chapter. Fourth chapter again philosophical Jiva Brahma Ika. The fifth chapter Jivan Mukta. Again that philosophical ideas will come up. The fourth and fifth chapter. And if you read the Vedanta Sara, you will get the details about which we read in very short today. And the PanchiKarana will be dealt in details in Vedanta Sara. And Vivek Churavani also, Sri Shankaracharya, and other books are, of course, there. So can we end, Nirmala? So, you'll read this mantra,
Yes,
it will
Maharaj,
end,
yes.
or you'll want to read any other mantra also?
No, Maharaj, this is fine. This is
Then,
fine.
you can read then.
Vasudevendra
Yogindra
Natva
Natva Jnana
Pradam
Pradam Guru
Mumukshunam
Mumukshana
Hitarthaya
Hitarthaya
Tattvabodho
Tattvabodha Abhidhiyate. The meaning, as we said, here say Vasudeva, we remember the deity of Chitta was Vasudeva.
Yes.
Today we read
Yes.
Vasudeva means Paramatman. Here it's not meaning that son of Vasudeva means Krishna. It means Parameshwara, Paramatman, who is the Yogindra, is king of Yogin. And Natva, he is to go down to him, who gives knowledge to us. And Mumukshana, who wants this knowledge, seekers of liberation, for our benefit. This Tattva Bodha, knowledge of truth, has been expounded by Sri Shankaracharya. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti.
Hari
Hari
Om.
Om. Sri Ramakrishna.